In the first part of this session, we acquainted ourselves with the various services and products offered by Saint-Gobain under their holistic basket of MyHome. We discussed challenges faced by architects and designers while executing their projects, ranging from detailing, sourcing, quality control, and achieving a seamless design integration. Saint-Gobain has now simplified many of these roadblocks through local partnerships and cutting-edge technology, making it easy for designers to work in new geographies. Finally, touching upon the most important aspect, which is the budget, our experts highlighted the value of integrating all services under one roof of MyHome, thereby simplifying costs as well.
When it comes to spending on design and design services, what are the areas where your clients don't want to compromise at all?
In recent times, I see a lot of clients coming with educated ideas about what they want, unlike before where it was just fancies, right? So especially, I would say, post-pandemic, I see a lot of clients who want to spend a lot more on their interior space, organizing the interior space. Because for most of these people, home has become much more than home now. People work from home, right? You spend a lot more time at home, much before than the post-pandemic, like much before the COVID era. So in one way, I would say the maintenance factor of whatever they want to do in interiors has taken a better priority now than before.
Well, I think that what tends to happen is also with clients, they come in with a certain allocation or a budget for the entire project. And the civil costs that go in at a stage to build the bones or the skeleton are kind of fixed and non-negotiable. So while they come towards the finishing, which they really care about and they need it to look good, they also run out of budgets. I know that you come in at the very last stage while doing things like shutters and cubicles. So what is the kind of competitive or budget upsides that we can possibly talk to the client about that, offering like MyHome can bring to them?
Sure. So, for example, in the case of the shutters, we use a 4mm glass. And we've designed it to work. It doesn't break, a kid can hang on it, it's perfectly safe. Whereas what we've seen in the market is a tendency to use a 6mm because it's not engineered well. And so we reduce the weight of the frames. In many ways, it's light and sustainable construction, which is the vision that we have. So the frames are lighter, the glass is thinner. We cut these pieces from a large sheet of glass, being glass manufacturers ourselves, and we've integrated it. So we save on the margins across the chain. We really reduce a lot of waste.
So what kind of after-sales support or on-site support a customer can expect?
So the first is that we take ownership. So there's no passing the buck. We know that it is our product and then we take full responsibility for it. So there's always a person at the end of the call. So simple things like the hinge has, it needs tightening. The seal has come off for various reasons, even if it is an abusive use, etc. But that there's somebody available who will go and look at it. The customer can reach out to us at any time for servicing anything that we've offered or for whatever is new. I want to change the hinge color. When I bought it, I had the budget constraint at that point of time, so I'm just taking a chrome finish. Tomorrow I want to do it with a gold finish. It's easier for us. Nobody needs to go and take measurements. All of that is already available with us. Of course, we are building the after sales, but today it's feasible for us to do that.
The main concern of an architect when it comes to design is how a unique product can be made for the specific space, and that is the only way identity of the space can be created uniquely. So when an architect is trying to use your product, is there any limitation in terms of sizing or dimensions or shapes that you put on in design? And also, at the end of the day, is it affordable for an end customer at a scale like that?
Sure. So one is that our products, if we take shower enclosures, has 500 plus designs. You can play with the colors of the hardware, there's a choice. You can choose variations in glass, whether it's etching, patterned, clear, etc. So there is indeed a wide choice. This is custom made. So there is the interior designer or the architect can have their own stamp into the design. That's possible.
So we know that architects are good at multitasking, but it can sometimes get overwhelming to handle a project all the way from design to execution.
Yeah, definitely. Short answer. But I think also design and architecture, as well as handing over a project, is becoming more and more collaborative, much more collaborative than it was, say, even over a decade ago. We do rely on people just outside our office to either bring in some knowledge or bring in some sort of, reliable framework within which we can not only develop and design it, but also deliver it. And I think having people out there with these strategic partnerships that can come in and sort of help us go from one end to the other is of huge benefit.
Absolutely.
And having a brand such as Saint-Gobain as part of that offering is going to be much better than we referring some random person to execute. So if the more they can take up in a space, the less headache an architect gets, because you can trust, and it's easy to convince the client that it's a very trustworthy partner to work with.
In terms of when we get to a stage of implementation, there is a lot of back and forth that goes on with whoever is finally going to be installing the product, because we give a design intent, then they come up with a shop drawing, then there is a little bit of back and forth. And I know that being a research-oriented organization, maybe you will customize something. So, how does that get streamlined?
On the installation part, the drawings are automated and we send it. So which side should the door open? Stuff that simple things like that. That's
which will
factored.
Make a difference, right? So this handle will not go
Correct.
and whack that, or whatever.
Yeah, and which side is the coating? So if you do the hydrophobic coating on the wrong side,
there's no
and
point.
believe me, it happens.
It probably happens.
And so that rigor part of it is captured in a software. For imagine you want to make a budgetary code for a window. There's a software available. You can play with. If I do this, what happens? If I do this, what happens?
If I swap this out.
And so that trade-off, those kinds of things are available.
So we can able to visualize different color matches, and we're also looking at other options from AI and other options where we can able to see how we can maximize the customer experience at this point.
So we take this responsibility seriously. So the first time we went and punctured a wall for a shower cubicle drilling, there was
the pipe.
Yeah, we burst the pipe. And now they've developed a tool that you can see where the thing is, and then you're careful. And then we spoke to Bosch because we were damaging the marble when we were drilling. So we were using their tools, but apparently we were not using the right drill bits and the way that you're supposed to use it, etc. So in that sense, we are getting better and standardizing. So you're safe to, you get a standardized service if you refer somebody to Saint-Gobain. That is something that we take seriously.
Process of home building requires successful collaboration at all levels. How have you simplified this process for your end customers?
So we think this local partnerships is critical for our success. Whether it is to offer a certain level, minimum expected level of service to the end customers. So what we've done is we've tied up with these partners across India, 63 cities. A large part of tier 2, 3 is booming. And that's really where all of these services are also required. So we've tied up with these local partners, not necessarily glass or gyprock, etc., but really from across the industry. So what we're looking at is partners who understands design intent, respects it, is able to manage a B2C conversation and can do an effective consultation. The rest of it is really managed by us, the manufacture, the dispatch, and the installation. So we figured out this model, which is fairly asset light. So what we do is the partner invests in the space. We invest in what is in the showroom, the design, the branding, and the products that go into the showroom. And the partner runs the store. We call this the MyHome stores. We've got about 59 of them in the country today, and we've got another 87 in the pipeline. So people are interested because it's not too much of an investment. It's an extension of their business. There is no inventory because these are all finally custom made. So they focus on the expertise in consultation. We focus on lead generation, the manufacture, the measurement and the certification part of it. So that's how we are expanding this model across the country.
And this is an open question for everyone watching. Please share with us your questions, challenges, and other topics that you'd like us to touch upon in our upcoming sessions.